Hello everyone, this is day 2 actually. Day 0, after day 0, I was not able to record on day 1. Actually, day 1 video should be posted on 30/6/2026, that is yesterday, but due to some reasons I couldn't record. So what I'm doing is I'm recording that video today. So this is the day 1 video, and I also have to record day 2 video also today. So let's start what I've learned in today. That is day 1 of my SAS learning. So before that, we will just wrap up what you learned yesterday. So yesterday I learned the data set, right? So I learned a data, how to create my data set. So for that, we use data statement, data school. After data, we have to name the data set. So for example, for this, my data set name is school. So yesterday we created the data school, uh, that is on day 0. So data school and input statement help us to define the column names. For example, for this school data set, I need columns like name, age, gender. So once the statement is complete, we have to use semicolon. Next, card statement for the observations or records. We can use card statement, or else we can also go with data line statement. So once the card statement is complete, we have to use semicolon. And now we have to use, we need to add values to it. For example, for the first value name, we need the value A, and his age will be 12 and his gender will be male. So this specifying space means this name will be assigned to name value, this A will be assigned to name value, this 12 will be assigned to age value, and this male will be attached to this gender value. Okay, so one thing we forgot, like since name and gender are character values, we need to add here dollar symbol, which tells us that these values are characters. Okay, so second value we have B, and his age is 13, and we'll take female. C, age will be 14, gender male, and D, age will be 15, and his gender will be female. So this completes my code. So after completing my values, we'll add semicolon. This means this much values I want. So now I need to execute the code. For that, I will use run statement, semicolon. So this run statement is used to execute the code. So how to execute the code? Select all the code you have written till now. Just click on this run icon, or you can press that F3 code. So I will use run icon, and here our data set is created. Name, ABCD, age 12, 13, 14, 15, and gender, male, female, male, female. Okay. So this is what I learned on the day 0 class. For the day 1, what we learned, how to write this data set in another style. So first style is we are using input cards, right? So without using input and card statement, we can also write data sets. So let me show you data. So we'll take same school 1. This name of the data set will be school 1. And we are not using here input and card statement. So how we will assign the values to that? So we'll directly write the column name. For example, we need a column name. To this, we want value as A. So we'll type A, and age. For this, we need a value as 12, and gender. For this, we need value as M. So this completes our code, right? So for here in this code, we used dollar symbol, right, to define whether the character or numeric, whether the observation or record is character or numeric, right? So same way here, the name is character, right? So how will you tell SAS that this is character? So we need to use quotation. You can use single quotation or double quotation, anything is okay. So here gender quotation. So inside the quotation means this is character, and there is no quotation is it is numeric. So once this statement is complete, name is equal to a. This means we are assigning a value to name variable and age to 12 and gender to m. So once this statement is complete, again here after a we will use semicolon, same. So here once the statement is complete, semicolon. So here gender statement is complete, semicolon. And now once the statement is complete, so what we'll use, run, same as it is as we wrote in earlier. So this completes my code. What we'll do, I'll select whole code this much and I will click on this run icon and see here our variable name, age, gender is created and the values are a, age 12 and gender is male. So this is what another style of dataset we learned today, how to write another style of dataset. But here the question comes, like we have only created one dataset, right? Here we have created how many? One, two, three, four. Four observations, right? So here the observation is only one observation, right? That means let me show the output data. See here, only one observation, one. That means only one row, right? But in this data set, earlier data set, let me run it. In this data set, we have created four rows, that is four observations or four records. For this also, if you want to create multiple records or observations, so how we can do it? So once that is complete, what we'll do is we will write again name, and this name will be B, and it will be inside quotation. This one I am using single quotation. Once the statement is complete, semicolon. Next, age will be how much? B age is 13 and semicolon. Again, gender, gender is equal to female, right? So this statement is complete, again semicolon. And once the statement is complete, we can use run statement. So this completes our code. But the problem is when we execute this code, the data set will be not created. See, it is created only one data set, and again it has like created four columns. The data set or the code is not executed like what we want. We wanted the output something like this. Let me show this code. Oh, sorry. So we wanted result something like this. Okay, two columns A and B, age 12, 13, and gender male, female. But the code we executed, this one, is like this. So it's wrong. Why? Because the SAS cannot read it from here. So we have to, SAS reads multiple data set here. So for these reasons, what we want is after creating one record, we have to use output statement, output statement and semicolon. This helps SAS to continue this reading of dataset. And now if we executed this code, see here. Oh, second here not created. Wait, anything I think. Uh, what, what happened? Let me select it again. Control C. Okay, this. we did a mistake here. So gender is M, that's fine. So, okay, let me see. Okay, so we need to add output 2 times here. Output. So now we can execute the code. Let me see. Yeah, we have created 2 datasets, but again here gender section B. Oh my God, what is wrong here? Gender equals to M. Okay, since it's a character, we need to add quotation. Okay, now let's see. Is it correct? Let me run the code again. Yes, finally we got the output. So what in this style, what we have to do is we have to write output 2 times. What I forgotten is to write output at 1 times, and here I have forgotten to write this quotation. So we can use single quotation or double quotation for character in this style. So this is what we have learned in day 2. Okay. So now we have created a data set, but we need to save this data set, right? So how can we save the data set? Simple is just copy this data set. We want to save it and just click on the save, and it will select the folder where which you want to save. For example, I want to save in this SAS March. Click on this folder. It will name, you can name this as something like SAS June, as we created it in June, or SAS July, or my data set as we created today, my data. And it will always save in .sas type. SAS type, it will save it. So here, files and folders, if you go in SAS March, here will be my data. It will just save. So this is how we can save your data set. So in SAS, we have libraries. So here you can see my libraries, and here we can see all these libraries. All these libraries are like collection of data sets. So in maps, there are collection of data sets, and in this map GFK, there is collection of data set. These all, from maps to web work, are all permanent libraries, and this work is temporary library. What is the difference between permanent library and temporary library is? So this permanent library dataset will exist if you log in from this session and log out again. But the problem with work is, since it's a temporary library, so we have created this 2 datasets now, right? School 1 and school. So these are created now. So what happened is this will stay active in this session only. Once we log in and we created any dataset, SAS by default stores that dataset in work library. When you see the output data, you can see table. So work, school. So SAS will show any dataset in the work library. But if you want to access this after this session, for example, today you created a dataset. For example, today I created a data set that is July 1, and tomorrow I want to work on this data set only, or I want to send this data set to someone, but I can't find it tomorrow it in this work library because it get erased once we get out from this what you call active session. So what we have to do is, again we have to write the same code again, but the problem is we need to save it somewhere. So for that we need to create a library of our own. So these are all permanent libraries. We can't modify or edit these libraries. We can read these libraries and work on these libraries, but we can't edit these libraries. So for example, we want to save this in our own library. So we need to create a user defined library. So before that, we will go to something else. So for example, before that, we will discuss one topic, that is, we want to access some of these data from this. For example, from the SAS help, I want a data set to access some data sets. These are already created data sets, right? So access this data set, what we have to do is type data. So name the data. For example, where you want to, I will create data, it will name is new. In this, we want the data set that is present here, airline. In the SAS help, there is a airline data set created. So I want to access that airline data. How I can access this data new? Here is an airline. So we can add. For this accessing data from the libraries, we will use set statement. Set in which library it is present, in the SAS help library. Okay. So we'll type SAS help. From that, it is from SAS help, it is present in airline. So for that, we will use SAS help dot airline semicolon. So this statement help us to access SAS help dataset airline. So since it is present in SAS help, first we'll write the folder name, then the dataset name. So library name, we can call it as library name, then it is dataset name. So we want, how we can execute this code? Run semicolon, same way as we do earlier. So now what we'll do is we will able to see the dataset which is present in the SAS help airline. First, before that, I will show you, before running this code, I will show you the airline data, how it is. So this is the airline data air region. Since where is my data? So here, let me execute this and show you how it is. So run, see here is the output data, and this is SAS help airline is, see here date, and my output data date, Jan 49, air region, same data set, we have accessed it. Okay. So in this way, we can access the data set and practice this data set, practice code on this data set. But we can't modify this data set. You can't change this date section, air section, or region section. We can't change this data set, but we can add a new region here and you can save for yourself, but you can't modify this. Okay. For example, you want to create a new data set here. For example, region is all. I want to create a new region date as a column and I want all the values to be India. So I can edit this, but it will be stored in as temporary, not permanent. Okay. For example, uh, let me go with my data, see your code. So this is our code, right? Now I will write same with the same code, we can do it. For example, this is the same system we have used. We use the same system. After this statement, set statement, this statement helps us to access the code. Think like this. So I have written this statement. Now this statement helped me to access the code. Now what I want to edit the code. Like for example, here region after region, I want a new region as a column and all the values should be India. So what I will do is just I will write new region. So this tells us that we are creating a new column and the values of the columns equals to India. Since India is character, so what we will do is, since India is character, we'll add it in quotation. You can use single quotation or double quotation. So just add semicolon. So now the statement is complete, right? So now when we execute this code, see here, this will create a new column, that is new region as a column name, and all the values are India. So this is how we can access the SAS help or my libraries, these all permanent libraries. And what we can do, we can modify them. For example, we can create a new column and assign it values. So this we can do from this code. For that, same. To access any data sets from this libraries, we have to use set statement. Then the library name. For example, if you want to access the libraries from SASHELP folder, you have to write SASHELP dot which data set you want to access. For example, air SASHELP dot air. What happened if we not define this libraries? So what it will do is it will search in work. If you not define any libraries, it will search in work library. Work library is temporary, so it will search there. Okay, since we have defined, like for example, SAS user, it will search here. Is SAS data, it will search here. And this is how it will search. Okay, see, this is how you can edit the dataset from the my library sections, or you can say the permanent libraries. We can also create user defined permanent library that I will show in the next video, because this video I have learned this much. In the second video, part 2 video, I will share that. So this is what I learned today.